Hey Challengers, Mary Bauer here. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Diastasis Recti. I posted that test in the group to see if you had it or not, and I want to go over a little bit about what it is and some things you can do to make it better over time and kind of share my story a little bit. If you're pregnant right now, this is something you really need to pay attention to because this can help you avoid any problems. So basically what happens is when you are pregnant, your abs separate. This is totally normal, but most women come back together. Now your abs are not fully connected. There's a ligament that is in between them, and what happens is that stretches, and some women don't come back all together, like that ligament's extra stretchy. Sometimes it's just hereditary or it's just who you are. A lot of shorter women who get really big in their belly have a problem with this. That's kind of what happened with me, but it really just depends. So some things that you can do to help are really build your core muscles without putting extra pressure on them in your workout. So I'm going to go over some things you want to avoid and things you can do. Also some things when you're pregnant to keep in mind is not doing anything plank related where you're feeling like your belly is really protruding and you're not able to hold it. When you go to the bathroom, if you can cross your arms, if you have to poop, and you push and hold your belly together, like pull it in. Also, I really suggest getting a belly binder after having a baby and using that, and really trying not to sit straight up in bed, like roll over to your side, just sit up until your core muscles are strong again. You never want to get to the position where you're trying to sit up or do something and you just feel like you have nothing there, like it's just not working. So let me go over a few things not to do, and then some exercises that I've been able to do. I did physical therapy for this last year for about 3 months, and I can share what I did there so that you can see if you can build this and fix this on your own without having to go in yourself. So some things to avoid when you're in your early stages. And just to let you know too, when you're checking it, when I check mine, I lay down right here and I do like a crunch, and I put my fingers this way, so straight up and down, and I put them in here and I try to figure out how wide the gap is, so how wide it is and then how deep it is. Physical therapy really helped me to reduce the depth. I'm still about the same width, but I notice I'm a lot stronger and it's not quite as deep. So some things to avoid in the beginning, if you don't have that core strength to really suck it in when you do a move. When I first got to working out after having my daughter, I couldn't even hold plank on my knees. So I would try to hold plank on my knees and my whole belly would just like fall out, like I couldn't suck it in. So if that's your case, don't do anything with plank on your knees or anything. If you feel like you actually can pull in those lower core muscles, then anything that's a plank related move, really squeeze that butt and pull in that tummy. And if you can hold it, then that's great. If you can do plank, that kind of stuff, that's fine, but really make sure that you have the strength to be able to do it. Other things to avoid, any kind of sit-ups, any kind of V sit-ups, V roll-ups, anything where you're doing like stuff like hips and balancing and kicking. If you're laying on your back and you're doing things like this and you're having to sit up, all of those kind of things put pressure on your stomach and push them outward. What you want to do is core workouts that don't require your belly to be like pushing forward, because that's where it can cause problems and you can further stretch if you are not strong enough yet. So here are some moves that my physical therapist had me do. I'm going to go through a bunch of them. These are just moves that I replace moves in workouts with when I don't feel like I'm comfortable doing things. So when I first started out, it was a very simple thing. Really working on isolating your lower core. So if you, this is me over exaggerating, but if you tilt your pelvis and you hold it flat against the floor, so my lower back is actually touching the floor, I'm feeling it in my lower core. And all I would do is put my hands right here and just rock my knees side to side without lifting my hips. I would do that for 3 minutes and really work on squeezing. That was one move. Another move they had me do was put a ball in between my knees, and I would do a pelvic tilt and hold it for 5 seconds and squeeze the ball and then release, and I would do 10 of those. I had another one when I put a band around my knees, and we do the same thing. So pelvic tilt for 5 seconds, open my legs, hold it for 5 seconds, and close it and release, and I do 10 of those. As I got better with things, some other things I would do would be bridges, and I do this a lot instead of different moves. So it's lifting up here, and not just lifting, because I can do nothing with my belly here if I'm not engaged, but lifting up, squeezing the butt, and really isolating the lower core, and just holding that. You can do up and then down. You can pulse it. You can put a weight on your pelvic area right here and do that. You can also hold this up, really squeeze, lift out a leg for 5 seconds, put it back down, lift out the next leg, put it back down. You can do a lot of modifications like that. As I got better, there were some things I can do with my exercise ball, and this ball's really flat, so I'm going to show you kind of when your ball is inflated, you should be at 90 degrees, and so I would sit at 90 degrees and just hold my pelvis and just sit like this for 3 minutes, really isolating and squeezing that lower core. It's very hard to do this. Next thing I would do as I progress is they'd have me just like lift a leg and lift a leg. So for like 2 seconds at a time, lift a leg and lift a leg and try not to wobble side to side. I would also do it later as I progress, so I do one arm and one leg, one arm and one leg, and again, this ball is totally deflated, not something good to use. Other things I would do are wall sits with this ball. If I can show you here. Oh, that's not going to work. So anyways, I come against the wall, so the ball is the back of my wall. Okay, I'm going to lower down so I'm at a 90-degree angle. I'm just going to hold that there for about 5 to 10 seconds a time. So I'd lower down, hold for 5 seconds to 10 seconds, stand back up, and I do about 10 or 15 of those. Last but not least, I had a couple other moves here. And this one you may have to have somebody help you to make sure you're doing this right. But I would get on my hands and knees, and I'd lift this leg out, making sure that I'm square. So you're tempted to kind of open up like this. You need to be square. So actually I can feel like I'm over-exaggerating this way and just hold, really keeping that lower core drawn in. So for about 10 seconds and then bringing it down. Doing the other one and then really making sure that you're square. As you get better and better, you can also lift out your arm and leg at the same time. But again, it's really easy to be lazy, so make sure that your core is fully engaged. So start with those moves. Make sure that you are being careful about the moves you're doing in your workout. And if you have any questions about your body specifically, please message me and we'll get you going with that. It took me about 3 months to fully get back to the point where I could really do a lot of the moves. I still avoid sit-ups and crunches, those kind of things, because it just doesn't feel comfortable to me. And it really depends how bad your diastasis recti is. But really pay attention to this, because this is something that, like, it's hard to get rid of that belly pooch just because of your core. And I have weird things, guys. Like, if I eat, I can, like, feel my intestines. It's, like, really gross, weird stuff. But if any of that stuff's happening to you, that's why. So let me know if you guys have any questions, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.